strike with violence or kill you with kindness. We'll light up the silence, act now, 'cause the end is soon. Come and let us bust down the cars that hide your heart now. Shed light on all the shadows you leave passerby. Whether we strike with violence or kill you with kindness, we'll light up the silence, act now, 'cause the end is soon.
Welcome to Isle Shroomer. Welcome to Isle Delfino. I'll be your tour guide today. How's everyone doing? good afternoon, Alicia. How's your day been? How'd you do on your exam? First and foremost, I think that's maybe the biggest question I have. Nice, what are we touring today? Come see the lovely cliffside view. Visit Forest Shroomer, filled to the brim with all sorts of exotic fruiting bodies. But watch out, they're not all edible. Only try a fungus if your tour guide approves. Both are good. Wow. Both are good. I think I might have got a 4. Over a 4 on both. Very good. I'm eating a tamale that I probably should have eaten, probably should have eaten before I swapped screens, but it's good. Hello, evil chatter. Hi, evil shroom. How y'all doing? I just posted Absolute Cinema to the art channel in my Discord, by the way. Where's oh, I should just ping him with it. At the unmoving. Your girl's also in there, Alicia, in the tweet I just sent to my Discord. The dawn looks so cool. I know, right? I know, right? I adore that guy's art style. We will start Umineko promptly. I don't feel like on a weekday stream when I have class, you know, I have to get ready for class and like Umineko. Oh fuck. A murderer. Is that the perfect soundbite for :DDDD or what? That's the noise that emoticon makes. True. Hi Jude, hello. some murder mystery slop. I've been enjoying my mystery slop chat. I've been eating good. I'm a big mystery head. I've always been a big mystery head. I love a good murder mystery. I love good like cosmic horror mystery. Oh, cosmic horror mystery. Some H.P. Lovecraft. So divine. I love those books, are so enthralling. If you guys haven't read any H.P. Lovecraft, The Horror at Dunwich. Such a good novel. So good. And then of course there's The Call of Cthulhu, which I've heard people say is actually kind of overrated. You know what? There is an audiobook series for The Call of Cthulhu. I honestly would take some H.P. Lovecraft books and read over them for our own audiobook series, but I can't do it justice. If any of you have any interest in cosmic horror, you know, Cthulhu, shit like that, look on YouTube for Wayne June Lovecraft. Wayne June. That man was the narrator for the Darkest Dungeon games. And he reads Lovecraft's books. And his timbre is just like, he was born to read Lovecraft. The audiobooks are so good. It's a good tamale. Very, very good tamale. Now it's been a while since I've played some Umineko. Oh fuck, Umineko. Gonna have to refresh my brain with the tips and hints and whatnot. I'm thinking. I had some very strange dreams last night. They were so Very evil. I'ma go eep as always. Rest well, name to use. Rest very well. It is unlikely there will be any jump scare noises, so... Stay? Please, 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 please. Please stay, please stay. Pleading emoji. Well. Okay, I bit off a little more tamale than I could chew. I had to wash it down with some sodies. Okay, we're good. We're good. As long as you don't go play Mahjong and Sega Jump Scare, I should be fine. Okay. We will... It is highly improbable that we will launch Mahjong today because it's a Monday morning stream. We only really have time for one thing on the weekday streams nowadays. I was thinking about starting a little earlier, but you know what? Like, I woke up at 10. Honestly, I woke up at, like, closer to 9 than 10, and then I kind of stayed in bed for, like, 2 hours. And here we are. I got up out of bed, dicked around on my computer for, like, half an hour, and then I started stream. So that's my morning. That's my morning chat. Just in case y'all were curious. How's y'all's day been? Some of you, your day is completely winding down. Some of you, the evening, it's just rolling into evening. Most of you, I would say, are probably the days rolling into evening. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Tamales have been crushed. There is no more food in my vicinity. And hey, spores. What if I called you guys sporelings? We are the shroomlings. Something like that. I like lings. Okay. My good friend Sterling G. Brickman, he calls his viewers fleshlings. And it just rolls so well off the tongue, the lings. Fun guys. Well, that's me, I'm the fun guy. We're workshopping it, but I'm liking sporelings. Or shroomlings sound better. My shroomlings. I crushed my exams today, I believe I've gotten over 4 on both. I think either a 5 or 6. Keep us posted. We are the shroomlings, we have come for your nectar. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Gelato Beach music again. It's very fitting for Umineko Chapter 2, so far. Could also just call us Hive Minders. I might just call you guys something different every day at this point. There's this... I can't settle. I just can't settle. What if, instead of Don Quixote, her name was Gem Quixote? Thoughts? Sorry, I thought of that at the start of the stream, and I've been, like, trying to find a fluid way to get it out naturally, but I can't, so I just said it out loud. What do the judges have to say about my new joke? We're done eating, though, so we can start playing. Reading, so to speak. I see NotAl6 has joined the chat. And Surprise. It's nice to see you all. It's nice to see you all today on this Monday morning, afternoon, evening. For those of you who are r/out of the loop, we're reading Umineko. I need to move that GIF. Hold on. There we go. We're reading Umineko, and hold on. I'll just be vibing today, probably streaming tomorrow to make up for basically no stream today. Dude, I woke up, I rolled out of bed, I launched twitch.tv to see if my friends were online, and then I saw your stream ended 3 minutes ago. 3 minutes from when I launched, from when I powered on my computer. It was a great tragedy. Vibing is peak. I started to end the stream like 10 times, was trying to fix stuff, but now I did it. I saw on your server, it was like... What was that extension? It was like an extension cord for your Ethernet? I've never seen a device like that before. I can't say I've ever seen a device quite like it. What does that do? What does that do for you? Thing you plug into an electrical outlet that just gives you more. Okay, so it is literally just an extension cord. It looked strange though. Let me go look at it again. Well, I guess you just have like European plugs. Our adapter, the male end of all our adapters do not look like that at all. They're like two like vertical prongs with one round with like a tapered off like plateaued edge, like middle prong. We call it ciabatta. I thought that's a kind of bread. Sorry, low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. So, for those who are r/, it also is a kind of bread, lamau. For those who are out of the loop, let's mute the Delta music. For those who are out of the loop, in Umineko, we visited Rokkenjima once before, and everyone died. Watch this. I can kill all of them. Everyone died, and now we're like in a flashback scene, I guess. The goal is to find out what happened, why it happened, who happened, and all that other stuff. And I took some notes down the last time I played. In my Rokkenjima channel. I said, Eva Nason, okay, I guess I had some very specific character-focused notes, so they might not be too relevant. That seems slightly fire hazardous. Make sure you stick the maximum safe power draw for one outlet. Yeah, I have an extension cord, but it's also, I got a surge protector. I only have my computer and 2 monitors plugged into it. I'm almost certain that that is an acceptable power intake. Excuse me, from the surge protector. And I've been very, very thankful for this purchase because my power has shorted. Well, maybe not shorted, but like something my power went out several times in the last like 2 months since I bought the surge protector. Here's a crazy thing. Okay, when I say it out loud, when I think it in my head, I'm like, well, there might be some correlation there. I was gonna say, my power has only gone out since I got my new computer. So I'm extra thankful for getting the surge protector because it's protected me from a problem I haven't had before. There's no way. I know how that I know how that sounds. But I'm like 80% sure the power going out It's happened before. This isn't the first time my power has gone out before. It's it's the first time that I can recall that it's gone out so many times in such a small stretch of time. But I'm like pretty sure it was from thunderstorms every time. Like we just had some very inclement weather for like a month, and my power went out to like lightning strikes. And one of the power outages was like a neighborhood, almost municipality-wide power outage. So I'm like 80-something% sure that my computer is not shorting the power of my like electrical grid. So I'm very thankful for this surge protector and the cost it has saved me, so to speak, from, you know, maybe saving some hardware from the clutches of power outages, sudden like power outages / power surges from lightning. The last time we touched Umineko was October 4th. It's been over a week. It's been almost 10 days. Oh my gosh, it was 2 Saturdays ago. We do not visit Rokkenjima nearly often enough. We were getting the event done. We did a whole week of Limbus. And that, like, with some spare change. They're also all really good monitors. 27-inch, 144 Hz, and one of them can do 1440p. Frickin' big spender over here. Alright. My monitor is actually plugged into a potato. And it has up to 2 Hz refresh rate. How peak. Hello. Hi. How you doing? My monitors cost as much as my whole PC setup. My monitor, I cheaped out. I cheaped out as hard as possible. One thing, you guys... So is everyone alive again? This is a flashback. This is a flashback, Jude. This is an indeterminate time before the massacre. What we learned in the proceedings of this flashback. I guess I can regale you guys my notes from last week. Ava Nesson holds profound contempt for Shannon-chan. In my opinion, this added a tremendous level of motive to her potential as a suspect for the first 6 killings. Because as you guys may or may not know, the first 6 killings... Let me actually go back to the title screen. So I can show you guys some cool stuff. My monitors were fairly cheap, I think. I went for like a midway. Like I keep on talking over myself. You guys might know this about me. I'm a very value-oriented person. I'm a very cheap person, but I'm not so cheap that I'm like gonna get complete garbage that doesn't do anything for me. I want to get whatever is as serviceable as possible. When is the Umineko smashability tier list? I mean, that would take like 2 seconds. Smash, wife. No. Wife, smash. I gotta be careful about these guys because they're like just barely 18. I think. I don't even know if they're 18 in the flashbacks, so I'll withhold my comment. Smash. Smash. Done. Okay, anyways. You know, on a more serious note, I said Ava Nason holds profound contempt for Shannon-chan, which adds tremendous level of motive to her potential as a suspect for the first 6 killings. The first 6 killings were Shannon, Goda, Hiri. Supposedly, we couldn't see their face. You'll see as I execute them. His corpse was found inside the rose garden. His face seems to have been smashed after death. So the corpses that have their faces smashed in, like, it was these and Rosa. We only know that it's them based off of their clothing. We can't decisively say it was them. So there's that false corpse theory. But we know for sure Shannon was killed because only half her face was smashed in. And we know for sure that Kraus was killed because only half his face was smashed in. So the contempt that Ava holds for Shannon is in the fact that she's a lowly maidservant. Shannon loved George and Nikki, and George and Nikki loved Shannon. But George and Nikki was kind of like acting heir of the family almost. He was raised up for greater things, and his mom and dad didn't want him marrying a lowly servant. I mean, this is like the 80s in Japan. Like, they literally still have the fucking caste system over there. Or some shit. Like servants are treated, like, basically like slaves over there. So, like, their prized, like, prodigal son confessed his love and asked for the betrothal of, like, a slave woman, pretty much. So, Ava hates her. My other notes were Natsuhi, her, also clearly holds some contempt for Shan. Although she's really more projecting, potentially she's more projecting her anger onto whomever is available, and that happens to be the pushover that is Shannon. So, Natsuhi Nesan might dislike Shannon, or she might just be, like, a bitch. Like, one or the other. The rest of my notes were Shannon is a yearner. She might have been the one who shattered the mirror. Okay, so at the beginning of the flashback in Chapter 2, we got a scene of an unknown narrator going to, like, the holy site on the island archipelago and smashing a mirror which seemed to hold some divine portent. In the middle of a rainstorm, so I'm thinking this happened right before the massacre. It was, like, you know, the releasing of the witch, so to speak. Who we've seen, and seems to actually exist. Beatrice, my wife. And that was basically it. That's things of note that I've learned from how far we've gotten into episode 2. And now I think we're ready to dive back in for an hour or so. See what's what. Ooh. The return to voice acting every single character. I got something on my throat though, hold on. What? What do you mean, separate rooms? So wait, you and George Nissan stayed in different rooms on purpose? Yes. Is it really so strange? Jessica's cheeks had been stuffed with a chocolate-coated shinsuko biscuit that Shannon had brought as a present from Okinawa. And it all came flying out at Shannon when Jessica... It really happened! The date sequence was real! Wait. I thought it was, like... like, what if? What if they weren't, like, killed? That's fucked up, man. Shannon, why did you even go on a trip to Okinawa? Shannon and George, we saw, like, a date sequence at the start of this episode, even before all the other stuff, and my assumption was that it was, like, made up. Like, this never happened. It was a hypothetical date. But, I may be proven wrong here. You were even alone with George Nissan. Well, he said there was a huge aquarium in Okinawa and invited me to go. And I like fish and stuff, so... No, that's not the point! We're talking about a healthy guy and girl going on an overnight trip, right? And you're saying there weren't any hugs and... There weren't even any hugs and kisses! George is too much of a gentleman for that. And seriously, what's up with the guy and girl staying in different rooms? As for kisses... No comment. But we did hug. George-san's chest was warm. That's not the point. Oh, jeez. Why do couples like this exist? Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise, I can't take it anymore. From Shannon's point of view, it was an incredibly happy trip. For various reasons. But it looked like Jessica found their pace to be pretty irritating. For a while, Jessica chewed her present, complaining about romance and pretending to faint in agony on her bed. Shannon and George had chosen to go to Okinawa because there was a huge aquarium there. They did this because an aquarium had given the opportunity to start going out. Since their relationship had started at an aquarium, having their first overnight trip also to be to an aquarium must have held some commemorative value. That's like a huge commemorative turning point. And your first overnight trip. How could you not make all kinds of progress there? But instead, you both got separate rooms. A couple taking 2 single rooms. Ah, geez, seriously, what's wrong with you? But we are both unmarried. Ah, it's so peak. I love Shannon and George so much. George-san says showing restraint is good manners for a couple. They're calling him the most sensitive young man of all time. Like I said, the whole point of this overnight trip was so you could overcome that stage, right? You should be way beyond just kissing and hugging by now. Milady, I don't know what you mean by that. But George-sama was a real gentleman with me until the end. That is, I mean, I also wondered if those things would happen, you know, but even though we are going out, I mean, it's not like we're married or anything. These things you seem to be expecting, should only be done after making a vow before God, and, oh... Shannon's face got bright red. Oh, she's so adorable. She made a circle with both hands, restlessly intertwining, separating and making heart marks with them. Apparently, the dramatic progress Jessica had looked forward to hadn't happened. But it seemed to have been a very important experience for Shannon in her own way. In the end, whether Jessica was jealous of Shannon or made fun of her, it didn't change the fact that Shannon had a huge lead on her. Oh, I want a boyfriend too! I can't believe you got ahead of me! Even though we promised that we'd find boyfriends at the same time, you beat me! Ugh. You're a wonderful person, milady, so... I'm sure you'll find someone wonderful much quicker than me. Don't try to console me. Shannon, you traitor! Get out! Shut up! Jessica threw several cushions at her. But midway, she had an asthma attack and started to choke pretty badly. I've had asthma attacks before. I know exactly what it's like. Shannon hurriedly ran over to a nearby side table and started searching around on top of it. A cute basket was placed there, and inside of it was Jessica's bronchodilator. Shannon picked it up and handed it over to Jessica. Jessica's asthma attacks always came suddenly. Because of that, she always needed to carry this medicine around. She breathed in the medicine and, after a while, managed to overcome her choking as her asthma finally settled down. What the heck? Okay. Shannon thought this a good chance to leave and tried to exit the room after bowing courteously. As she did, one more small cushion came flying and hit Shannon on the head. She noticed that Jessica was on the verge of crying, half of her face buried in her last and favorite cushion. That face was red and meek. "Milady? Shannon, be honest with me. Is my hairdo and stuff weird? What are you saying? I think your hair is very beautiful. Then are my eyes strange, or maybe my nose? Or is it the way I talk after all? Is that why I can't get a boyfriend?" "Of course not. Milady, you are wonderful enough as you are, and I think your charm will keep on increasing more and more from now on. But I'm the only one who can't find a boyfriend." Femcell Jessica is not the development I was expecting. Sako and Hina managed to get boyfriends, but only I can't. I'm so Jessica is not the development I was expecting. But I'm the only one who can't find a boyfriend. Sako and Hina managed to get boyfriends, but only I can't. Is it because I don't have any charm after all? You know, everyone says they'll bring their boyfriends to the cultural festival. And I was so sure I'd have a boyfriend before then, so I started bragging. There's no way I'll get a boyfriend. I'm the only one. Before she realized it, Jessica was shedding huge tears. Jessica didn't really feel like crying, and of course, she felt like supporting Shannon's progress in love as a friend. However, as she had cheered Shannon on, her true feelings had suddenly gotten mixed in, and she couldn't help but shed tears. Shannon understood Jessica's innocent and easily injured heart. The rough style of speech Jessica usually used was all just an attempt to protect that fragile heart. Owner of a lonely heart, much better than a owner of a broken heart. You guys like yes? Lose yourself. You only live your life. And I don't know the lyrics. I only know the owner of a lonely heart. Owner of a lonely heart, much better than a owner of a broken heart. Now that's a song I'd love to cover on the piano. Holy shit. I'm drip feeding you guys. You guys know the music I love. Of course, when you do your piano song redeems, they're gonna be one of the redeeming songs that you love, and I will perform them for you. So the redeem isn't for me; it's for you. But just saying, you know, if you feel like throwing me a bone, yes. I don't know, Daft Punk, anything from Deltarune, Tears for Fears. Dun da da dun da dun da 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 dun da 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 dun. I'm tired, boss. Tears for Fears has been stuck in my head for a while. I mean, it gets... Head Over Heels is one of my favorite songs of all time, and, you know, I said this last stream, I'm a hopeless romantic, chat. Like, I can't help it. I wanted to be with you alone and talk about the weather. I will actually probably cover that song of my own volition without a redeem. Once I know how to play the piano well enough, I plan to practice when I get home today. I didn't practice my actual piano yesterday, but I spent some time yesterday refreshing my knowledge of music theory. You know, how to read sheet music and how to identify the keys on the keyboard. Which, it didn't, like... I was surprised at how much of the knowledge I retained. Did I bother studying for the physics exam tomorrow? I think you should. It won't be a long stream, so, you know, you don't have to rush. You can study in the evening, of course. Just push it, but you can always do it later. That's the Morel Shimmer motto. I can always do it later. got a bit of that Nurgle love within me. I don't know if any of you guys like 40k, but I'm a big Nurgle guy. And I think my tendency to procrastinate bears heavy impact on why I chose Nurgle. If I were to convert to Chaos in the 41st millennium, you know, the grim dark future where there's only war, I would have chosen Nurgle probably. But luckily, I don't have to make that choice because he's not real. What was I talking about? Tears for Fears. I will do a head over heels cover of my own volition. You guys don't even have to redeem points for that. I love that song way too much to not cover it on the piano. Something happens and I'm head over heels. I never find out till I'm head over heels. Don't take my heart, don't break my heart, no. No, don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Excuse me. Back to the novel. Reading Umineko is making me want to practice some Japanese before we go. 15 minutes of Umineko into study and co-working stream where I where I practice my Japanese flashcards. Thoughts? Concerns? Study stream? We have a good at least 10 minutes left of Umineko though, so I'm gonna lock in. We got Sorry. I just fucking like baby barfed in my mouth. Hello, Shroomy Goblin. That was so nasty, man. I could taste the tamale that I just ate. Porto hello. Howdy. Howdy, howdy. How you doing? How's your Monday? Monday morning, midday, afternoon, evening, wherever your time zone is. As a daughter and successor to the Ushinomiya family, as a girl isolated on Rakanjima, the only person she could expose her true feelings to was Shannon. It's not even fair to call her a femcel, because, like, she can't find a boyfriend because she lives on a fucking island by herself. She's more like a princess living up in a tall tower, in, like, perfect isolation and seclusion her whole life. She just needs her, like, knight in shining armor to call down from the bottom of the tower, "Hail, fair princess, I've come to save you. Let down thine fine hair, that I may climb up and rescue you from your distress." That's all she needs. Shannon understood that. So she strongly regretted acting smug, even if it was only a little. Sorry. I'm so weird crying like this. Sorry. You're a wonderful person, milady. There's no way you won't find a wonderful man. Great, it's a long weekend in Canada, so we chilling. Heck yeah. Shannon, it's about time, right? If you don't go quickly, Genji-san and Mom will get mad. Throw it away. I'm just fine, so hurry up. Sorry for crying like this. I'm just like Jessica Chat. I'm trapped in my big, you know, tall stone spire. That is my room. My room in a rural suburb. I'm kind of like Jessica, but instead of being trapped on an island with no one else for like miles on miles on miles or kilometers on kilometers, I live in a rural suburb, and I never leave my room. I'm such a moron. And before the rural suburb, it was a barracks. There was not much opportunity for love when you live on base. Not for me, at least. Jessica faced away, so that was like 3 years. Jessica faced away, acting as though she didn't really want to trouble Shannon, waving her hand as though chasing Shannon away. Shannon took that as a sign that Jessica didn't want to be bothered anymore, bowed her head, and left the room. When Shannon's footsteps disappeared into the distance, Jessica laid down on her bed, still hugging a cushion. Her expression was still a little meek, with tears in her eyes. But for the first time in a long time, she had a very, very quiet and honest conversation with her heart. I also want to fall in love. Tell me about it. Throw it away. This is my four-leaf clover. As Shannon happily watered the flower beds in the garden, she sensed someone's presence. She turned around, thinking that if one of the family had come to visit, she must greet them. But what she saw was that witch. Beatrice-sama. Wow. Beatrice jump scare. It's been quite some time. How are you? Has your relationship with the one you love progressed since last we met? As Beatrice sat on the rose arch, she happily blew on her pipe. She is the person that shattered the mirror, 100%. Shannon shattered the mirror at the Tori. Sitting in a place like that would crush the roses, and it might have been dangerous if the arch fell over, but this was a witch after all. Excuse me. Showing concern for her safety was probably a waste of time. Yes, thanks to you, it's going smoothly. Naturally. The effects of my magic are immediate. Perhaps you feel your meeting was a predetermined fate. However, that is a mistake. Don't even think fate has anything to do with it. I understand that. Holy shit, she wasn't lying. Chat, she mentioned, like, a mysticism, like a mystical, magical effect. Where is it? Where is the start of episode 2? Do I have anything on it? Or did I save over it all? Fuck! I can't go back. I mean, I could just load episode 2 itself, but she's like, oh my gosh, George, it's like, our relationship is so magical. It's like a dream come true. It's like a witch cast a spell on us or something. It's a little on the nose. It's a little on the nose. But, sure. The witch was calling attention to something. Two things, actually. First, that Shannon's relationship with George was a fate that would be absolutely impossible under normal circumstances. Second, that the power of the witch was great enough to overturn that fact. Shannon had just gotten wrapped up in those sweet days, and had started believing the illusion that all fate revolved around her. But she remembered the witch's words. Originally, her relationship with George had been impossible. No, it might be impossible in the future as well. Sorry, please forgive me. It's just like doctors. You cling to them when you're worried about your health, but after you've healed, you forget even to thank them. I've never been thanked as a witch, so I couldn't help acting a little rudely. Forgive me. The gratitude I feel has never slipped my mind. It's thanks to your power that I was able to achieve happiness, Beatrice-sama. And without that power, fate that brought me and George-sama together would never have happened. I have never forgotten that. Sorry. It's not like I came here to bully you. Being rude is just part of my personality. Do you forgive me? More importantly... do forgive me. More importantly, I heard. So you went on a trip alone with him. I imagine it must have been quite fun. Yes, it was very, fun. Shannon's face suddenly lit up. The witch laughed lightly, as though amused by the speed of that transformation. Already the one you care for is more than the object of one-sided love. You are a pair of lovers now. When two people are filled with love, nothing is needed to establish a complete world. Perhaps you could call that a wonderful, ideal world. Say that again. A what kind of world? Even witches would be jealous. Beatrice laughed pleasantly. That smile made her look as though she blessed the lovers' rendezvous from the bottom of her heart, without a trace of malice. After that day, Beatrice had shown herself before Shannon every once in a while. Even now, Shannon thought of her as an unsettling being. However, she was also indebted to this person for the magic that led to her current relationship with George. So Shannon tried with all her might not to act surprised or scared. That's right. Beatrice-sama, I bought some sweets as a souvenir from our trip. Would you, like to try some too? Oh, a souvenir for a witch. It seemed that even a witch who boasted of living for 1,000 years hadn't imagined that she'd receive a souvenir from a sweet lover's trip. When she saw that surprised expression, Shannon thought of this witch as a friend for the first time. Shannon, no, don't do it. She's not your friend. She's an evil witch that wants to kill everyone. Shannon, no. An Eastern cookie made from wheat flour and lard. To wrap that in Western chocolate is truly a blending of the Japanese and Western styles. The Silk Road of sweets. What? What's so funny? Nothing. Look at her. She's so perplexed. Wait, the sprite work gets so crazy in Chapter 2, man. This witch, who surely held a terrifying power, was chomping down on sweets one after another, making a sound like a squirrel stuffing walnuts into its mouth. After a while, Shannon couldn't conceal her laughter. A good meal. I should serve you some dulce vita from Nero one of these days. Roses are the symbol of eternal love. I believe a rose dulce would be appropriate for you now. The witch was in a great mood, fully enjoying modern candy. Here. I truly am grateful. I believe you've done more than enough for me already, so I'm returning this. Thing Shannon had softly set on the table was a gold-colored butterfly brooch. Excuse me. Sending something to Shimajimer. There is no need to return it. If you continue holding that, your relationship should remain firm in perpetuity. Maybe it was the power of magic that brought us together, but I think only the two of us working together can turn that into something that lasts forever. Love and roses are the same. Too much fertilizer causes the roots to rot. Some flowers cannot be raised without hard work. In that case, do as you wish. You may wear it or keep it in a box. That is my goodwill, given to you. Having you return it to me won't please me at all. My apologies. That's not what I... No harm has been done. That brooch is already yours. If you treasure that proof of our friendship, it would indeed bring me some comfort. You may hold on to it and gain its benefits. Or you may keep it in a box. If you wish, you may even give it to another who is worrying about love. Or you could simply treasure it. Of course, it would pain my heart if you wasted it. According to Beatrice, she had appeared several times in the past, in response to a person's summons, to give them some tool imbued with a magical power. However, when most people use that power to resolve their worries, they quickly grew unsettled by it, forgot their former gratitude, and threw away the tools that had been given with disgust. So, it is quite rare for me to be thanked for my goodwill. In fact, this might even be the first time. The witch laughed heartily, but it looked like a sad laugh in Shannon's eyes. She herself had been like that in the past. No, maybe she was still like that now. Beatrice was definitely a witch, with a strange and terrifying power. Most people probably wouldn't want to stick around her if they could help it. Surely even those who had relied on that strange power sometimes felt fear rather than gratitude as a result. It must have deeply hurt the witch to have that happen over and over. Since the time she had started thinking in that way, Shannon had tried to stop being frightened of Beatrice. This was surely something that had tormented the witch for over 1,000 years. Maybe she really liked those sweets. Beatrice, who normally spoke abusively, praised the black tea that Shannon served her and looked to be in remarkably high spirits. After doing that for a while, the witch and the servant grew animated in their discussion of the trip with George. The things Shannon actually knew about Beatrice were surprisingly few. First off, she was a ghost-like being, who appeared in unexpected places at unexpected times. And it seemed that not everyone could perceive that she was there. Apparently, everyone has something called a wavelength, and the ability to perceive witches varies greatly among different people. Only Shannon and Canon could interact with her enough to exchange words like this. There were a few people who could sense her presence, but most people couldn't even feel that much. From what Beatrice said, Kraus and his wife in particular had zero magical talent, and no matter how much she followed them around, they would never notice her. Once earlier, when Shannon messed up and Natsuhi got really mad at her, Beatrice had started playing around, hitting Natsuhi on the head with her pipe. I see, Natsuhi really doesn't notice a thing. Okay. But Shannon, watching that, had burst out laughing without thinking, and had gotten scolded even more. And then, oh, what about the master? I hear he's been doing research in magic, so I'm sure he'll be able to notice you, Beatrice. Beatrice-sama. Kinzo is the same. He also has a pitiful lack of magical talent. It's the blood. He has so little talent that I pity him. Ah. As soon as they started talking about Kinzo, it felt like the atmosphere around Beatrice changed. She had spoken about Kraus and the rest's lack of magical talent as though she looked down on them. But she spoke of Kinzo in a different way. Anyone connected to the Ushiromiya family would know about Kinzo's legend of the gold. Is Shannon, like, insane? Is she, like, what if she's just, like, schizo-tweaking? What if Shannon is just schizo-hallucinating Beatrice? That would be pretty funny. According to that, Kinzo was given the gold after summoning the witch Beatrice. In other words, she must have had some kind of relationship with Kinzo. That was because he succeeded despite having not even a scrap of talent. He kept studying by himself like a mad and managed to become a magician. And that's something really incredible, right? Indeed. The witch, who usually looked down on people, was uncharacteristically offering her praise. While she lambasted him, saying he had no talent, she praised his efforts. And then, the master summoned Beatrice-sama with the power of magic. Indeed. I'm putting these all in my Rokkenjima depository, my fucking Sprite depository on my server. I need to hold on to these forever. Well, I only answer the summons on a whim. After all, in this period where magic has long been denied, here was a man who was without a scrap of talent, yet so desperate to succeed. I thought I'd drop by and poke some fun at him, and that's when my luck ran out. Her choice of words highlighted how much of a disaster this had been for her. Shannon hesitated over whether it would be safe to continue this discussion, but Beatrice continued on her own, ignoring Shannon. After all, his contract did have a proper format and set of rules. Various procedures were mixed up, but, well, in deference to his enthusiasm, I graciously accepted it. Then I gave him a mountain of gold. And then the master used that gold and succeeded in business, and grew his wealth into what it is today. Beatrice is just a banker, man. She's just a banker. A loan officer, so to speak. Indeed, his talent in magic was minimal, but it seems he had a knack for business and gambling. Or perhaps it was due to the bravery and madness that led him to risk everything on unreasonable bets. Madness sometimes acts as a magical power. I see, if you look at it that way, perhaps it isn't quite fair to say he was completely lacking in magical talent. Thank you for lurking, Endo. And thank you for hanging out as long as you have. We'll be wrapping up pretty soon anyhow. It's almost time for me to get ready for class. Wait. Something's wrong, I can feel it. Have any of you heard of Isekai Quartet? I have not. What is Isekai Quartet? Never mind then. Okay. Shannon felt like she was daydreaming. While everyone in the Ushidami... Oh, there's a typo! They have a typo. Unplayable, unplayable. I need a fucking riot now. While everyone in the Ushiomiya family knew the story of how Kinzo idolized black magic, summoned a witch and received the gold, in actuality it was all rambling that no one believed in. Typo. Literally unplayable. And now Shannon was having the story confirmed by the witch herself. But Kanon-kun also saw Beatrice, so she can't be tweaking. Guys, it was all a dream. Shannon's comatose in the hospital and she's dreaming right now. That's gonna be the big reveal. She felt a little flustered by this incredible secret that only she knew. Once Kinzo gained his vast fortune, he could realize every dream that can be satisfied by objects obtainable in the human world. And in the end, he searched for the truth of this world. Ad break. I'll take a little stretch break. I'll be back, chat. I'll be back, my spoilings, my shroomlings, my fungis, and all the other stuff. The spoilings. The funtlings. Isekai Quartet, I love that. Okay, one of us knows, so you can explain what you wanted to explain now. Smile. Very excited, so I'm going to lurk while I watch the episode. Very well. Enjoy. I just saw my follower count go down by 1. Who would do such a cruel and heinous thing? This is heartbreaking. What the hell? Anytime I lose one, even just one of you, it's like a piece of my body just withered away. Sorry I tapped out. I don't think that would change my follower count, shoot. Not my view count, my follower count. From 106 to 105. A follower, my bad. I have each and every one of my 105 followers memorized. So I'm scrolling through my follower list right now to see who's missing. I don't actually. But I just might. I'm considering it. I'm considering it. Okay, we're back. We can get a little more reading done before I drop you guys off somewhere for the day. Go attend to my business. I've joined. I've consented to joining a D&D group in the C4 community, the Christian content creator community. I will not be streaming it because it's going to be in my evenings, and I prefer to stream in the morning / midday. But there might be like someone streaming it. I don't know. I don't really know the details right now. We're doing session 0 after my class today, so keep what's the word? Stay tuned for something along those lines. Maybe in the future. Guh is calling. The single element that makes up the world. Kinzo, who had gained everything one can obtain in the human world, searched for that, the final desire humans seek. The single element. That would be love, I believe. She seemed to remember the witch using that word before, as do I. As do I. When Beatrice saw Shannon trying to remember what that was, she laughed bitterly, waving her hand and saying there was no need to worry. I underestimated Kinzo just a tad. I truly didn't expect him to display such power. And thanks to that, I'm in this state. I've been sewn in place on this island for several decades now, without even a friend to drink tea with. No matter whom I try to talk to, my voice doesn't reach them. And no matter where I go, I cannot do anything. Such boring decades. As she laughed in self-derision, she tapped her teacup with her finger. It made the light sound of pottery. Shannon didn't know whether the word self-derision was really an accurate expression to describe the look on the witch's face. Shannon didn't understand everything, but she could more or less figure out the situation. And it was probably a topic that she couldn't press the witch on easily. Not unless the witch started talking about it herself. To sum up everything she had said up until now, Beatrice, who had been summoned by Kinzo's magic, could not leave this island for some reason. And she had lost her power and her form, living her days in boredom. During that time, her words had reached Shannon, who never forgot to show sincere respect for the witch. And Shannon had helped the witch regain her power, if only for a little bit. As a result, it was now possible for the witch to drink tea with Shannon like this. Beatrice-sama, what in the world was that mirror you told me to break? Ah, that. Long ago, it seems various things happened on the islands around this area. Because of that, malignant forces gathered here, began to draw in an evil distortion. It seems a traveling Eastern magician or something built a shrine for the repose of souls and sealed them in there. That in itself has nothing to do with me, but unfortunately, that magical power rested on a different foundation than mine. It created a strong interference with my magic and was extremely bothersome. Is that how it was? Is that how it was? I just assumed it existed only to seal you, Beatrice-sama. I was not its target, but it was a divine mirror. As a result, my power was sealed away. To use food as an example, maybe it would go something like this. Let's say the Western food I ordered is being made in the kitchen. However, when they try to set the table, the area for the guest seating is in the Japanese style, with Japanese-style dishes. So the kitchen is unable to serve a plate that would be out of place, and no matter how long I wait, my Western food won't arrive. Something like that. So you destroyed that Japanese-style guest seating and returned the area to a blank slate for a time. Thanks to that, the meal I had ordered was finally delivered, and my power came back, you could say. However, so far, only the aperitif has arrived. It will still be quite some time before the main dish. As I am now, I'm even more fragile than a shoe store fairy. Moo. Moo? Moo? What's so amusing? Nothing. I just thought your metaphor was pretty funny. I never would have thought to use a story about food as a metaphor for magic. I thought it a rather skillful comparison, but I certainly didn't expect it to be laughed at. I'm a bit offended. A slight sulky expression rose to the witch's face. It wasn't a strange expression at all to be appearing on the face of some friends as they enjoy their tea. Although I may not look it, I was known for doing extremely brutal things in the past. I've got soft. Now I can even have a foolish discussion while drinking tea with a human. She was probably talking to herself. As Beatrice gazed at the seabirds tracing the horizon, she put her tea to her lips again. The clouds have come out. Drink some coffee. Finish off my coffee because it's getting cold. When the ocean loses its brilliance, it's nothing more than a grey puddle. Coffee, Cheetos, chicken. You think so? I think the ocean is a beautiful deep blue, even when it gets cloudy. Maybe the witch noticed a deep meaning behind Shannon's words. She laughed lightly and set down her empty teacup. Wilson wants to be let in the room. Hi, Wilson. It's so much cooler outside of my room than it is in here. Gotta love the sun. Just got hit by like a draft of breezy air. Opening the window for Wilson. It seems those things buried in your eyes aren't black pebbles anymore. How is it? Do you see how it feels for furniture to be reborn as a human? Yes, I never knew the world was this kind. Since the start of her relationship with George, Shannon's face had grown brighter more often. Her smile had made everything go smoothly, and had even changed her fortune. Shannon made less mistakes in her work than she had before, and the family members' opinions of her was slowly starting to change. Just the other day, she had been surprised when Kraus, who rarely exchanged words with her, had suddenly started talking to her. You've been wearing a splendid smile more often lately, haven't you? Has something good happened? No, but every day is fun, yes. Wonderful. It goes without saying that coffee is more delicious when poured with a smile. True. Could I ask for that smile once more? Hi! That had become a chance for Shannon to gain confidence in herself. Of course, it didn't go beyond her own heart, and it was so big a chance that anyone would know. It wasn't so big a change that anyone would notice. But she had begun to change, bit by bit. Good for Shannon, man. Shannon understood it clearly. Knowing love was the same as gaining a soul. The same as being reborn from furniture into a human. There was absolutely nothing mistaken in Beatrice's words. By knowing love, Shannon had learned what it was to be human. These have been unusual snacks. It was time well spent. It's probably about time for you to return to your work, so let us end our tea party now. After all, it seems a certain person doesn't like seeing us drink tea together. Huh? The witch gripped a teaspoon and flipped it with her fingers, sending it up in the air. After that, it was launched by the fingers of some invisible person, and flew straight into a nearby bush. The bush shook violently, and Canon came out. It seemed he had been there for some time watching their tea party. The spoon was gripped in his hand. If he hadn't caught it in an instant, it might have hit him hard in the forehead and caused him to start oozing blood. And do not worry. Our tea party is over now, Canon. How long were you there? If you had called to us, I'd have poured you some tea too. I imagine that you didn't want to interrupt a pair of women talking, right? Listen and learn. Silence. Silence, male. Beatrice is talking. Listen and learn. Canon kept silent, but there seemed to be a slightly hostile look in his eyes. On the outside, he acted with respect, but unlike Shannon, Canon did not trust the witch. When Beatrice hit the table with her pipe, the tea set turned into gold butterflies, which flew upwards all at once. They then scattered in every direction, and the cleanup was already done. It was fun, Shannon. Let us meet again if the chance arises. My magical power is still quite lacking. It's tiring even to show myself. If you're that tired, never appear again. Canon had said it in a small voice, but the witch seemed to have heard it perfectly. She giggled but did not reply. Shannon, tell me more about George at our next tea party. There are no snacks sweeter than a person's love life. See you again. Beatrice's body also became gold butterflies, which scattered in all directions and disappeared. It was a fantastical and beautiful scene, like a blizzard of gold leaf. For a while, Shannon quietly watched the witch's exit. Canon approached her from behind and spoke with an expression that was drastically different from hers. Nesson, didn't I tell you to stay away from her? Beatrice Sama isn't that bad of a person. Yes, she might be a little shady, but the fact that only we can see her is suspicious enough. That thing isn't human. Who knows what she might be planning? Canon-kun, I think that's a little rude. There was a touch of sternness in Shannon's voice, which was unusual for her. To Canon, who knew her well, she must have sounded extremely stern. Canon, looking excessively surprised considering Shannon's tone, fell silent. It's true that Beatrice-sama is different from humans. She has a terrifying power, so I think it's right for us to fear and respect her. Still, I think it's incredibly rude to despise her just because she isn't human. I understand what you're trying to say, Nesson. You've changed ever since she gave you that brooch. It's like you're her prisoner. She brought you and George Sama together, and now you're indebted to her. Don't say things like that. That thing isn't human. We don't know what she's thinking, so you mustn't trust her. And we aren't humans either, Nesson. Canon's words grew more serious. Those words probably gouged at Shannon's heart. She bit her lower lip and hung her head. We are furniture. Even if we receive names and are treated as humans, that won't change the manner of our birth. We are no longer furniture. Those words Beatrice had given her, which had made her happiest, floated through Shannon's mind. I am not furniture. No, you are furniture. You are less than human. Nesson, you're just pretending to have forgotten. Pretending to be human. You know as well as I do. You know that as well as I do. I am not furniture. I'm human. No, you aren't. We have never possessed what it takes to love or be loved. Shannon's criticism seems to have shifted away from Shannon's meetings with the witch. Shannon picked up on that quickly. I heard from my lady. Seriously, what were you thinking? I can't believe you would go on a trip with George Sama. You've forgotten your place as furniture. Oh, Canon's jealous. You've just been tempted by that witch, mistakenly believing you've become human. Listen, Canon-kun. It's true that we're furniture, lesser beings, inferior to humans. But if it were possible to make up for what we lack, wouldn't that be the same as becoming human? Such a thing could never happen. No, it could. If we can do that, we won't be furniture anymore. We can become human. Ridiculous. As if you could ever do such a thing. Cannon spat those words out, but did so weakly and turned away. He was probably giving up. After all the suffering he'd undergone during those days he lived as furniture, his heart was firmly sealed. You can do it too, Cannon-kun. You can become a normal human. Stop it. That's the witch talking. Yes, Beatrice-sama taught me. By obtaining the single element of this world, we can become a human. Cannon's just gotta get laid shut. We need to get this guy laid. Oh, I'm not human. Oh, woe is me. My life sucks. Stone cold true cells the moment they receive a crumb of lap/thigh pillow. We need to get this guy's head resting on someone's very soft thighs. That furniture talk will stop real quick. Okay, we gotta put a pin in it though. I have no idea where the conclusion of this scene is. It's gonna be my last note for the day in the Rokkenjima channel. Cannon seriously needs to get laid. Or at least, like, a lap pillow or something. Bro is a stone-cold true cell. Cannon the true cell and Jessica the femcell. Riveting developments today. I might posit. Wait, they're perfect for each other. Cannon and Jessica! At Strangefella. Cannon x Jessica arc? Real? Real or what? You know, this is good. This is good departure music. The Umineko soundtrack. Oh fuck, Umineko. Well, I hope you guys had a good 90 or 80 minutes. It's been 80 minutes. I have enjoyed my time quite a bit. I've had a good time. Yeah, we had some good reading, some good yapping. I never really mean to digress from the Umineko for so long, but somehow I find a way. Umineko finds a way to make me think about other things that I feel are worth talking about. Even I'm gonna roughly hazard that Umineko gets me to go on more tangents than Limbus Company does. There's a friggin' hair in my throat, in like my mouth. It's like an eyelash or something fell in my mouth. Or one of my hairs. I shed hair very quickly, chat. I mean, look at how much hair I have on me right now. Like, I shed almost as much hair as my friggin' cat does. It's like that shit's everywhere. I really need to clean up my area. Well, I'm very thankful. Here, let me start the raid. I think I know who to raid today. Cheers and have a wonderful day. Same to you, Al. Enjoy the rest of your evening / afternoon / it's bleeding into the evening for y'all for sure. Well, hey, I really appreciate y'all coming out and spending, giving me some company this morning, because as usual, this is my morning stream. I appreciate the chats we've had. I appreciate your presence in my continued read-through of. I'm gonna say we read a couple of pages of Umineko. Like, I know it's a game, but I think it's apt to say that we just read a couple pages, pretty much. A quick little diversion on the Rokkenjima. I'm rolling my R when I say that. I don't need to do that. Rokkenjima. It's not a rolling of the R, but it's like a half R, half L. Da ri ru de ro. That's the Japanese R. That's how they pronounce it. It's very. It's like 80% R, like 20% L. It's not even half L. Well, shit. I'm running out of time. Thanks again, guys. You know what to drop in the chat when we raid this lovely streamer to give them, the love and affection you guys have granted me. And I'll see you guys around, like Thursday maybe. Bye.